I have a book review for you guys today. It is for The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is about a ship called the Wayfarer that creates space tunnels, which is just a tunnel in space to make it much faster to get from point A to point B. And a new planet / alien species has just been added into the space union thing that they have. And so the people on the Wayfarer have been given a job to travel all the way out to this super, super far away planet so they can build a space tunnel so that there's faster access to and from this planet that's been added to their union. That's not called a union, but basically, you know. And the people employed on the Wayfarer are mostly all from different planets. They are completely different species from each other. They look different. They eat differently. They speak differently. They have different customs and different thoughts and rules about life and love and pretty much everything. And even though this book is about mostly aliens, I mean, it's a story about humans. So this book is incredibly character-based. It's the internal struggles of all of the characters that drives the story forward. It is not a plot-based story whatsoever. So if you are not into books that focus on the characters and not so much the plot, then this maybe isn't the book for you. But if you do really like character studies and just reading about character growth and relationships and the way that they change and how things are looked at differently between different people and between the people in the book and the people reading the book, then you should probably read it. It's so good. So the thing that I loved so much about this is that a big focus of it was around the fact that everybody was so different from each other, but they all accommodated each other and they all learned about each other's differences and sometimes embraced them, even if one species did something differently than humans do. The humans might adopt and do some things the way that species does, and vice versa, because they know it makes the other person feel comfortable or not feel comfortable. There was a lot of talk about even not understanding the way certain species do certain things or why they feel the way that they do, but it doesn't mean that their feelings towards that thing are invalid. Just because they weren't brought up that way and they don't understand what they're going through doesn't mean that they can't still be there for them. There was a lot of stuff like that. And there was a lot of stuff just surrounding the fact that everybody on this ship cares so deeply about each other. And when there was an issue, they did everything they could to be there for them and to let them know how much they cared about them and how much they wanted to try and help them and understand them. I loved so much reading about people being wonderful people towards each other and being a family to people who weren't with their, a blood family or whatever, right? The story does have some very sweet, cute moments in it. It's them traveling all the way out to this distant planet, so they do make a few stops along the way. They meet new people, learn new things. There's also a lot of stuff happening within the ship surrounding different relationships and different friendships and even just regular personal issues that don't have anything to do with love or friendship, but about the way that their species was brought up and how it affects the way they treat other things around them, and again, how the other people treat them. It is just very much about people and the way that they love other people. And it is so wonderful. There are a few different very interesting relationships, friendships. There's even some issues that one of the characters even has a degenerative disease that is only something that happens to this species. It's just full of delightful moments of people caring about each other. And I don't know. I didn't think a book like this could exist. Just a book about people being wonderful to each other. And there's a few times in it where, terrible things happen. And because the book as a whole is so wonderful, the terrible things feel extra terrible because of the context that they're within, right? If it was in a not so wonderful book, the terrible things wouldn't seem so terrible. But the contrast of these terrible things against the wonderful things makes the terrible things seem really traumatic. So there were a few things that happened in it that like were very upsetting to me, that maybe would have been less upsetting if it was in a less delightful book. So it does have some suspenseful, oh no, what are they going to do type moments. But for the most part, it's just about people loving each other and being family. This book does star a lot of different characters. It's quite a big cast of people, so it's already interesting just learning about all the different types of species and the way that they live their lives and the way that they interact with the other people on the ship. And I just feel like it's such a nice combination of so many different characters who are all different and, you know, embracing each other's differences and respecting each other's differences and boundaries and learning about them, learning about the world or the universe around them, and getting to read about their little love lives, their friendships, their families, where they grew up, how their families work, what they like to eat, the kinds of things that they get excited about, or the kinds of things that they think are weird that other species like. This book is definitely like a vibe. Like sometimes you read a book and you love it because it's so exciting and you can't put it down because you're like wondering what's going to happen next, or because it's spooky and you need to make sure that you read past the spooky part so you can go to bed without being, you know, scared by ghosts or whatever, or you read something that's just so disastrous and you need to keep reading to make sure they get through it. Where this, you just want to keep reading because it feels like it's giving you a hug. It's just cozy vibes pretty much the whole time. And then the one thing that I feel like I wanted to mention was I did mention like a year ago when I was doing my monthly favorite videos and I was talking about Downton Abbey, how Downton Abbey is a very cozy show. Even when there's stuff that happens in it that is not cozy, it still overall feels like a cozy show because it's very much focused on the characters and on the characters caring for each other and being there for each other in these moments of uncoziness. And that happens in this as well. When the terrible things happen that make the story less cozy, it still feels very cozy because everybody is there for each other and caring for each other and helping everybody through it and being amazing human beings, even though they're not all human beings. So if you want to read a book that's just gonna like, you just want to feel like you're hanging out with a bunch of wonderful friends, please read this.